Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of the Trash Heap podcast. I have with me the one, the only, the legendary Steiner from the Secondhand Talent podcast. It is also his birthday today. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Like we were just saying before we went live, when folks are going to be on secondhand talent and for some reason it doesn't work out, technical difficulties, scheduling, whatever the case may be, I always tell them when you do come on the show, the episode is going to be that much better for it. And I think that that's going to be true of the same today. So I'm really glad that we're running it again. And thank you again for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So I guess we'll get into it right away. So we met through a project called Hello Johnny that the Ween community has come forth to assemble. Can you tell me a little about that project and your contribution?
I can and I will. First of all, Johnny Williams created the clinkies, the image of the Boognish that we can all carry around as a little memento of the Boognish's power with us. Johnny has been a stalwart of the Ween community for time out of mind and a friend of mine for over 10 years. I remember when I met him. I had seen him in videos at Ween shows, and when I saw him at the Aragon in 2016, he was instantly recognizable. And he's one of those people that I just genuinely have no negative memories with. And that's not really, especially knowing someone for over 10 years, it's not really something you can say about a lot of people. So I'm really fortunate to know Johnny. And for the folks who don't know, he's currently battling cancer. JoJo, turn your audio up a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't have my mic on, so I saw that
Oh,
coming.
okay.
Yep. Can
Got it.
I hope I sound good now? Hopefully, I sound good
How do
now.
we sound? Do we sound okay?
I think we sound
All
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Good. So as I was saying, Johnny, has been a friend for a long time. And when I found out that he was, dealing with cancer, obviously that first of all, it's a fight that involves not just him, but his whole family. It involves everybody he knows. And by proxy, due to the role that he's played in the Ween fan group overall over the years, I definitely felt, some sort of like this is a righteous cause to put my funds towards thing, and I hold that to like discretion. Like the causes that I support are very specific, but helping out a friend is a non-starter. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. And when I came across your post that you were putting together a compilation album, I thought, well, this is something I can really get behind in some way or another because I have some technical skills. I know people. So maybe there's some way for me to get involved. I did not think it would result in me doing a full on cover of Ocean Man in the voice of Cleveland Brown from Family Guy. It's an E, which is why it doesn't really sound just like Cleveland, but I did my best, and I'm just very proud to, when I like to say, when you contribute with art, you contribute with your heart. Um, and so it was just very meaningful for me, not just to be able to put a track on the album, not just to be able to contribute to an effort that supports Johnny, but to see so many other fans and friends rise up and don't and submit songs and just donate all of their time and goodwill towards making these first two volumes happen. And it's just a magnificent thing to see.
Absolutely. And, one of the most magnificent things about it, not only are we giving the gift of art to Johnny, 2 volumes of covers of his favorite band, but we also raised over $4,000 since the start of this mixtape campaign, since I first started posting about it. So, man, And I'm not going to claim that. That was all of us. That was really
Oh, that's
all
a
of us.
collective effort. That
Yeah.
teamwork makes the dream work. Absolutely. You know, I didn't know that until just now. That's incredible. Like just for like maybe the like 15 or 16 people that were on the first volume, and then maybe like the 15 or 16 that were on the second, that 30 some odd tracks produced $4,000 to help a friend to so many of us in this medical battle. It's just, it really, like, it makes my heart smile, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. It has made my month seeing us all come together to do this, and we're not over.
No.
We've got two local tribute bands to Ween, Jammy Pack and the Grobes, who are going to be playing a back-to-back tribute show to raise money for Johnny, and that's just on the 31st. So, Colorado folks, come to Fort Collins, show up to that. It's going to be an awesome time. So, Johnny Williams is an absolute legend. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting him myself yet, but everywhere I go, it's just story after story after story of nothing bad, all positive. From the legendary time he played War Pigs with Ween on stage, just to again all the merch and fun little trinkets he's contributed to the community.
He did me a huge solid, personally, after I think I sent you a picture of it. It's hanging over our front door. But my after we got married, we went to go see Ween at the Salt Shed in 2023, and my wife went and was like third in line, stayed there all day, and she hit a sign that said, "Please play Oh My Dear." Like, just married, please play Oh My Dear. So the story behind that, just very briefly, tangentially, on our first date, we were headed out of town, and I was pretending to know that I knew how to drive stick, which I really did not. And all I was singing was that verse of Roses, just push it into third if you know you're gonna climb a hill. So I just faked my whole way through it. So we went out to dinner that night. We came back, and Steiner said, "Put on a dance song." And because she's from Montreal and speaks French, I thought it would be hilarious to put on Ode to Renee. And she was just like, "No, no, no." And then I put on Oh My Dear, because you kind of can give a barometer about how you're going to vibe with someone based on certain levels of Ween's music, I feel like. And her initial reaction was also kind of, "What the fuck is this?" And then my response was, any song is a dance song if you dance to it. And here we are all those years later. And when we got to the Salt Shed, taking it back, we were up at the rail, and Justine had her sign out. And right when they walked out on stage, Jeaner, well, like, acknowledged the sign. And we were thrilled. We didn't know what that meant, but we were thrilled. And I think right after Albino Sunburn Girl, uh, Jeaner goes, "Kirk, help me out, man." And Diener starts with, "Oh, he's got an idea. He's got an idea." And Kirk runs from backstage out with the printed lyrics to Oh My Dear. And he goes, uh, the young lady in the front row here just got married. She wants to hear Oh My Dear. This is Oh My Dear by Ween. And it's on Setlist FM. Actually, there was not in the original set list. But speaking of the original set list, Johnny hooked me up with a copy for that show, and like, that's something only someone like Johnny could do. And it's, you know I have set lists from all sorts of shows where that I've been to, but not from one where a band played a song for my wife and I. And like, that's part of the magic of Ween and the fans and of Johnny. It's really all of that coming into one.
It's amazing that Johnny swung that. Incredible. I mean, And didn't they play some other, lovey-dovey songs, so to speak?
It was a super, yeah. Diener was real mad that he put it in and said enough of this shit and jumped into my own bare hands. I can build a narrow bridge and all that, and they actually, unbeknownst to us, had already planned the return of "If You Love Me" for the first time since 1994. The live debut of "I Fell in Love Today." So it was just an incredibly meaningful show all around, which is really what I could say of every experience I've had with Ween at a Ween show. Every show has been magnificent in its own way. From that experience I just described to the show at the Aragon with the 15-minute to this date only live version played of King Billy. Like magic just happens at Ween shows every time.
Yeah, I'm a younger gal. I never had the chance to see Ween in their prime, so to speak, but I've been lucky enough to see them 5 times. Honestly, that's enough for me. If they never come back, I'm happy. They were some of the best shows of my life, especially the South Park show with Primus and Trey and Matt.
Oh, you got to go to
Blew
that, huh?
blew my mind at Red
Wow.
Rocks. It was magical.
I
Um,
was watching the stream. That's I rarely watch streams, but I grew up with South Park, embedded into my DNA, and that was, I mean, that was a dream concert come true for me to see Ween and Primus up there with Matt and Trey actually singing, and I mean, uh, if anybody watches Secondhand Talent, before every episode, I record just a little bit that goes like this. It goes, "It's a sound check. We're saying some random words and we're putting scenes together because we're testing mic levels for a sound check." And and one day I'll put out like a whole montage of the sound check montage parody, but I do that before every single episode. That it's a sound check. So that, and having met Les before and having seen Primus and him perform in a number of iterations, and obviously knowing Ween, and yeah, I mean, and South Park being one of my greatest inspirations as both a voice actor and a comedian, and just a writer in general. That was really a dream come true, especially when they had Rush come out, and they let Trey sing, or Trey play drums to "Closer to the Heart." That was like one of the most epic things that I've ever, like. Ugh, it
so
was wonderful.
what is the glue that binds these worlds of South Park and Primus and Ween all together? What's the
Mm,
connection?
sure. So South Park and Primus is pretty easy. Les Claypool and Primus play the intro song. That's a Primus song. Come on down South Park, man. Me some friend, you know. That's Les Claypool. That's Primus right there. So that connection is fairly obvious. I'm not 100% sure what the connection is with Ween to South Park, other than fan, like that they respect each other and they're fans of each other. I oh, you know what? Actually, there was a single that was released
Homo
with a
Rainbow
Ween song on it. Homo Rainbow, that's it. Homo Rainbow.
for the
Somebody in the comments put
yeah.
that in. Yep.
Oh no, I
Yep.
just I just remembered Chef Aid.
I should know because I have that CD, but yes, Homo Rainbow is a South Park song is a Ween song featured in South Park. Yes, that's the connection there.
Yeah,
And I
Trey
mean,
and Matt.
tr-
They also directed the "Even If You Don't" music video, which is an
oh, did
abs.
they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's an absolutely hilarious music video. I mean,
It is.
their comedy styles just gel together so well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, like the the age old question that Frank Zappa loved to ask: does humor belong in music? I think Primus and Ween both land squarely in the yes circle of that Venn diagram, and I think Matt and Trey do as well, both being accomplished musicians themselves. So, um, and honestly, they earned it. They earned giving themselves that pat on the back. They deserve that. Being homegrown from Colorado, to be able to go up to Red Rocks with the musicians that you started with. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. 25 years later, from just some stuff that you cut out of paper and believed in. I mean, Primus became Primus, Ween became Ween, and South Park became South Park. But at the beginning, there was this nexus, and to see it all come back together 25 years later, and in my lifetime, it's it's magical.
It's hard to think of the best show I've ever seen, but the South Park show might be up there. Absolute highlight of the night. Tommy the cat performed in the Butters voice.
As Butters, yep. Tommy
Butters the
Cat is
cat
my
is my name.
Butters the Cat is my name, and I can't do it sustaining.
It's
Oh
so hard.
shucks, I can't do Butters well enough. Especially my voice is not there right now, folks. But I do a few South Park voices. It's a tough. I mean, like it's just the two of them, which is what makes it so tough. It's easy to do people like characters like Chef because that's somebody else. That's not them. But they like it's like kind of like The Simpsons, where like if you can unlock Hank Azaria or Dan Castellaneta, you've unlocked half the characters on The Simpsons. Like if you unlock Yeardley Smith, you just get Lisa and Ralph. Like you really don't. Also, by the way, just quickly, I just want to shout out the folks who have provided the art on my desk.
Of
I
course.
do this in every episode of Secondhand Talent, and I would be remiss not to. Now, first of all and foremost, thank you to Johnny Williams for the clinky. Thank you, sir. Thank you to Mr. Dubois for the beautiful Fare Thee Well tapestry. Right over here, folks, that light there is not a mistake. That's an actual lamprey lamp. It's a lamprey lamp with a light bulb on it. That's actually a lamp, and behind it is a scale replica of the Wall of Sound used by the Grateful Dead, made by my friend Jeff Goldenberg. Thank you to Luke Chu for the desk candy, to Tenacious Toys for this little guy, to Mark Spusta for the art here, but what I usually wear on my shirts in the show, and of course, my tiny co-host, Tiny Steiner.
Now,
And shout out to Hetty Wax Fiends for the belt buckle and Ryan Kerrigan for the art. And oh yeah, there's a bunch of Spoosta magnets right over here, all along here, so you can see some Spoosta there.
now is that
Oh,
correct?
and
Oh yeah, go
one
ahead.
more one more pillar of the Ween scene, and I haven't talked to him in a while, and I hope he watches this. Todd Cox, thank you for this necklace. Yes, I still have it. Yes,
Oh.
I still need you to clean it. I love you. This is one of the most meaningful things that I own. Thank you. I wear it every single day. Love you, brother.
Oh. Now, is it
Todd
true?
is another pillar of the Ween community.
Todd, yeah, I've heard a little bit about Todd. I think through you, actually. I was going to ask about the Wallace Sound replica, though. Is it true that that's functional?
Yeah, actually, not only is it functional, it's hooked up. We can actually test it. Let's see here.
Now, for the
Yep, yep.
audience, we're going on a bit of a detour. We've got a lot of ground to cover today. I promise we will get into Ween, uh, and then we will do a little bit of a transition and talk about Steiner's stand-up career, the Secondhand Talent podcast, which season 6 is done filming, and new episodes are
Oh,
going to
you
release every
know,
Wednesday.
this is just a great song. I love this song.
Let's hear it. Wow, that thing is beautiful. I mean, the wall of sound, I know it was unsustainable with just how hard it was to put together, but if I could have heard that thing, I mean, a speaker tuned to each note. All right, I can kind of hear it.
Not bad, right?
But yeah, the whole thing that put us together was the Boognish. I personally felt the presence of the Boognish when I was assembling these two tribute albums. They just seemed to serendipitously just come together perfectly from the art to each and every song.
Yeah, you got to turn your mic up.
Still,
Yep.
how's
Yeah,
that?
for a bit.
How's that?
We'll let you know in a second, but keep going. And I just also actually I fully agree with you that like I feel like we can go even further and say the Boognish moved you to do that, and like because nobody just decides to like, hey, a little more louder. Nobody just decides to put together a compilation album, and for you to just do that, like the motivation beyond Johnny, I mean, like it's unbelievable.
Let's try that. Let's try that. Hopefully
That
that
sounds
makes
great to me.
that sounds better. Okay, well, hopefully I was audible for the last couple of
I think you were audible. I think it was just a little low. Then
yeah.
again, I can't see comments or anything like that, so I'm flying blind here.
Yeah, yeah. Not too many people leaving comments right now, but that's okay. Somebody
It's all right.
Aaron Smith does say Johnny is the man. I love this so much. We do too. Johnny is an absolute king. He's been doing phenomenal. We're rooting for him. We're with him every step of the way. Hopefully, we see him down the road at a Ween show. He's
Absolutely. I mean, hopefully we see a Ween show. I mean, let's really talk about it. I mean, that's what's on our minds. We want to talk about Ween for like it's it was upsetting to me. You know, you could tell by the chocolate and cheese re-release that their hearts weren't in it. It was a bunch of demos and remixes that were mostly publicly available. There was not, it was almost zero effort. I doubt there was any studio effort that went into it. I don't think they really cared about it being the 30th anniversary of the album. I think that was entirely a label move. And then when that show sold out, they obviously saw the money in it because, you know, Ween fans are going to go where Ween is playing. And they built up a tour around it, and I don't necessarily think the band fully agreed to it. And I understand that folks are upset when the announcement was made that the tour would no longer go on. However,
Mhm.
who are we? I mean, thank you, Diener, for all of the music. Take care of yourself so you can keep making more. Like, that's what matters the most. Like, we cover it a lot on secondhand talent. You know, what really went untalked about for most of my career in the industry is substance abuse and mental health issues and coping. And it's something that has taken down a large number of people that I know. And it's, I mean, at one point, you know, to an unfathomable scale, even to this day, including my best friend in 2015. And
I'm so sorry.
thank you. On my birthday, I like to remember them, you know, uh, because that's what every birthday of mine now is for. Is to carry them because nobody really dies until somebody stops thinking of them.
Absolutely.
So with every birthday, they get to live another year too. And I understand the sentiment that many fans had when the announcement came. I empathize. I do. but I do not sympathize. You know, back when Turner Overdrive said it, you got to look out for number one, and that's you. Like you gotta be your own best at self advocate. You gotta look out for yourself first, because there's a nobody guaranteed to be doing it for you. And if you're not being your own best advocate, you're gonna get lost. And when I kind of saw the writing on the wall when the dates got scheduled, if we're being perfectly honest. Like that shocked me that they were doing anything beyond a single show. Genuinely. Um, and then when the announcement came, inevitably, um, I wasn't surprised by the announcement. I was surprised by the backlash of the community against certain people and the band.
Especially
Like,
when the reason given was Steiner's mental health, which I
well, it's
think
not. First of all, I mean, there doesn't need to be a reason. That's first of all. I mean, just speaking plainly, there doesn't need to be a reason. You know, we're live, aren't we? I would have loved it if String Cheese Incident addressed the incidents that happened at Electric Forest, but we're not. They didn't. There's nothing I can do about that, even though it's their festival and it's absolutely it's like a mass casualty site now. Like, I mean, it blows my mind that they said nothing. Ween was under no obligation. No member of the band was under any obligation to say anything about anything. The fact that they gave us a reason could have been enough. And people got accused of knowing and withholding information. People get no. All of these things that people invented about reasons about various people, not even in the band, outside the band, people felt repercussions. And it was bad in some cases, like really bad. And you know, I think they've given us so much. I mean, folks, take a minute and gander at the Ween Archive channel if you haven't, because holy moly, every B side, C side, D side, G side, Z side you've ever imagined from every possible side whatever, Aaron somehow worked some voodoo magic to make them all incredibly listenable and high quality. They're all there. Like, go listen to Gladiola Heartbreaker. Go listen to Ambrosia Parsley. Go listen to Making Love in the Gravy. Go listen to, man, this is how I knew. I mean, that's how I listened to So Long Jerry before. That's how I knew they were going to do the reproduce of 12GCG. I did a reaction video a while ago to his So Long Jerry video, and I got a copyright notice.
And you were like, yes, it's coming!
And my immediate reaction was just like, yes, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Copyright notice for So Long Jerry.
I'm really excited for it. I think it's coming out on the 31st, the reissue.
I have not been excited for a reissue in such a long time. They put out, So Long Jerry as a single already, and Bad Day in Brownsville and Boston Chicken. And then the 12th Golden Country Great, besides for So Long Jerry being the 11th, I've Got No Dark Side. Phenomenal song. I mean, and all the extras that they're putting on this, like, this is getting the treatment. And folks, take a look at the comparison between the 12GCG re-release and the Chocolate and Cheese re-release. What's the difference in those two scenarios? Pressure on the band. There's pressure on the band, we get a half a record full of demos. No pressure, we finally got all 12 Golden Country Greats.
Plus
and more.
Boston Chicken, Bad Day in Brownsville, Cornbread Red. Just so much good material. All of the 12 Golden original country greats remastered. Uh, just some rarities that, I don't know why Boston Chicken didn't make the original cut. It's such a phenomenal song. I mean, I get,
Yeah, that's Bad Day in Brownsville, but yeah,
yeah,
that's also great. I love that one too. I think that they're, um, I mean, and even more like, and still, there are songs like, I mean, the Caesar demos, like, think like from oh my god, there's so many amazing songs that haven't seen the light of day officially produced. I mean, there's some songs like I go out of my way to get some records because there's a song on it that doesn't exist anywhere else. So great example. Two great examples actually. Um we're getting a song on this that I've been waiting for a very long time. I'll Miss You. The only version recorded of that song is on the Beautiful Girls soundtrack.
really, really. I don't think I've
If that
ever even
CD
heard of that.
That CD is the only place to have that song. Besides for the 7-inch Frente cover with Jeter and Diener. And another one would be there's an X-Files single. Walking After You by Foo Fighters was a big X-Files song, right? The B-side is Beacon Light.
Really, really. Speaking of Beacon Light, if you have not listened to the Hello Johnny mixtapes yet, Jammy Pack opens Volume 2 with a fantastic rendition of Beacon Light. Highly recommend giving it a listen. It is on our YouTube, and it is on Bandcamp as well. Check it out. But we've got so much great material coming out. I'd love to hear your takes on the classic material, though. The original Ween canon. Do you have a favorite Ween album?
Oof, damn it. Like, I kind of knew you were going to ask, but okay, cover to cover, I will stick with 12 Golden Country Greats. And with the other two, it just makes my case, I feel, even stronger with So Long Jerry and No Dark Side. I get it that it's not the most like Brown album in like the traditional sense. However, it's kind of how, like, you can't really argue with Widespread Panic's first album. You can't really argue with Space Wrangler, but Till the Medicine Takes is their best produced album. There's no, like, there's no argument. Like, there's no, like, one is better than the other, just sound the way it sounds, right? So as far as like the best produced album and the one that's I can listen to back and forth, no problem, 12 Golden Country Greats wins hands down without me having to think twice. If I had to pick a true favorite,
Oh, it looks like he froze there. Ah, shoot. That's not good. Well, folks, it looks like Steiner froze here, so it's gonna leave us on a hanging note what his other favorite project is. I'm going to try hanging up and calling him back. Thanks for your patience, folks.
you back?
Yep, it froze on us, but don't worry. I kept the show going, so just gotta figure out how to.
All right. All right.
Yeah, now I can hear you. Now I can hear you. But we heard 12 Golden Country Greats. What's that other favorite of yours?
So here's the thing. If I gotta go with the pod because and again, I feel like some people may disagree with that, but to me, I'm gonna pick the pod because I mean, oh my dear is on it, and that's one reason. The range of genres on that album is magnificent. And the fact that it was just them,
The
like
two of
truly,
them and a tape machine.
truly just them and a DAT machine. Yeah. I mean, as you know, I mean, that's incredible. And it to me also shows a point in transition previously unseen. We like, I don't think any other album, like, so you take Between God, Ween, Satan and
La
Pure
Cucaracha?
Guava.
Oh, Pure Guava,
No,
yeah.
no, like La Cucaracha is the last one. No, if you take God, Ween, Satan and Pure Guava, the pod in the middle of those two is outrageous. Like, it's like, I mean, everything from like mononucleosis to Stacy, or not Stacy, to Oh My Dear, to Sketches of Winkle, to, I mean, like, all of these just flying through the heavens in a fit of rage. Like, what is, but it's over. And it's like, why is it like Motorhead and Weird Al at the same time?
Motorhead and
And
Weird Al is a great way to describe the pod. From the pastiches and genre parodies, which, I mean, arguably go even farther for how limited of a setup they have compared to their other albums. It seems like, I mean,
yeah,
we've got some Right to the Ways and the Rules of the World. You know, you've got some
oh,
weird, progressive, you know, kind of
I
dirge
mean,
there.
Strap on the Jammy Pack. I
Yeah.
mean, like the original tune. It's just, I mean, it's iconic. And like I said, it's not that there aren't other albums that are great. I feel like 12 Golden Country Greats is an exception to the rule in Ween's discography. And the pod for me stands out as my favorite album. I, of course, just like everyone, I'm still waiting for Shinola Volume 2. And I'm just hoping. But who knows? I'm just grateful for the music we do have.
Yeah, yeah. I love Ween. Favorite band in the whole world. Boognish is with all of us. Boognish smiles on us. I think he's pretty happy we put these records together. Honestly, some of these records, I'm not going to say they're better than the Ween albums, but they're kind of just as fun to listen to, these compilations. I mean, they get pretty brown, they get pretty fucked. Ashton Freeman herself contributed "She's Your Baby" to the as the closing track for Volume One. And again, I don't think we actually did. We get into you know, your specific impression that you did on Ocean Man. You said
I
because you
was
did you.
trying to I was trying to work my way around it.
I don't think there's any way we can work our way around this. It's the
All right.
brownest cover I've heard. It's the Cleveland brownest cover I've heard.
Well, when I sent it to a friend of mine, he was like, "What? You who doesn't know Ween?" He was like, "Oh, that's what you meant." And I was like, "Well, yes, but like on several levels." So just to give some context here before I jump right into it, because it can be a little jarring when I switch back and forth. So just to give people a little background, when Family Guy really started, I'm going to get up and stretch real quick, but when Family Guy really started in 2006, I spent a lot of time
Oh
back
yeah,
cracking.
good to stretch.
I spent a lot of time watching TV, and I just tried. You know, I thought that I would, try to do Stewie's voice because I thought it was fun. It's fun to be able to talk like a weird British person who thinks he's in control of everything, but he's actually a tiny baby. And Chris is always a little further out of range. It's tough to be like him. Um, so those were a little out of my pocket, as you could tell by me coughing. And I remember one day I watched an interview of Mike Henry, who actually does the voice of Cleveland Brown on Family Guy. And they asked him where the voice came from. And he said, well, I had a gym teacher. I grew up in Alabama, and he just talked kind of like slow and had this ridiculous accent. Like, All right, people, we're gonna go back into the gym now, okay, everybody? And so I just like pitched it up and sped it up a little bit to be like, all right, we're gonna go back into the gym now, everybody, okay? And it just became its own took. And when I looked at him and heard that, I was like, oh, I can do that. And I was just like figuring out like how do I shift? I'm like, still Stewie. No, that's Peter, trying that. No, now we're talking a little bit more. No, that's Quagmire. Oh no, get off my line. Get off. No, stuck on you. Maybe if I shift back. There it is. I found it. It was hiding in the back. And as soon as I unlocked that, I mean, that led me to. It's kind of like I said, what I said before. Like when you unlock, like Hank Azaria, for example, and you get to, well, if you look at the equation of this, the Flyvin is going to reach Glyvin at the point of zoom. And, if you can get that down, then you can do like, okay, people, okay, listen now. Nothing to see here. Nothing. Oh my God, look at that pile of flaming wreckage. And then all of a sudden, conversing with someone else just becomes much easier and you can switch back and forth.
Now, you mentioned it was a challenge for this particular song, though, because Cleveland's got a very up and down, bouncy
He
voice.
does. He has a high pitched voice, and it's sing songy. He goes up, he goes down, it talks like this, but he comes back up. He's enjoyable. He's the life of the party. And Ocean Man is really a lot more subdued of a song. It does sound very bouncy in the music, but that is because of one very specific layer that's added, and it's in the key of E, which is a lower register, and to get this down to this consistently, and to be able to do it in rhythm and in time, and actually, it was. I mean, when I say challenge, it took me like an hour, but it was great. It was fun learning something new like that and doing something that I had never done before. It was a challenge in, the best sense of the term.
Absolutely, absolutely, and you did a phenomenal job, which kind of brings us into a natural segue here. So, I mean, you're an impressionist, you're a comedian. You describe yourself as, I believe, a lapsed comedian.
Well, let's record them. Let me screen record. I want to screen record this. Hold on.
Oh, you're good. You're
If
good.
we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Hold on.
Oh, we're doing it. We're sending it. We're getting straight into the Steiner lore.
I genuinely have to add the control because I don't have screen record on here yet. There it is. Okay, that's how new I am to this. All right, we're doing it.
I mean, we're figuring it out. I had some mic troubles at the beginning of this, but we're making it work.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. So again, please with the question.
Yes, yes. So, you're an impressionist. You're a comedian, self-described lapsed comedian, and
Yes.
I'd love to know, all those years ago, what brought you into the world of comedy?
Lapsed is a good term. I practice occasionally. Spite. If I'm being perfectly honest, spite is what led me to being a stand-up comedian. My two younger brothers, guys, if you're watching, I love you, Ben, from Boone and Keel, and Mayor, who's a wonderful actor and musician. When we were growing up, they could play everything. I mean, they would literally just pick up instruments and all of a sudden, like, were maestros. And shout out to my uncle Sam, who played drums for Lonely Moans and the Dwarves. The drum kit in his garage is where we all first played around, with music. Yeah.
Can you give some context for that band for those who might not be aware? Because
Yeah. So the dwarves actually, Blag, shout out to you, Blag. Black Dahlia, he's still touring today. So the Dwarves are are a garage punk band or garage rock band from, my uncle's gonna hate me if I say punk. They are a garage rock band from Chicago, and my uncle was their original drummer and their first fatality, as they put it. And he and folks like Black Dahlia and Mal Thursday from the Mal Thursday Quintet, they all got together. It started out as Suburban Nightmare here in Chicago, then became the Dwarves, and took on a life of its own when they were in Amherst. They opened up for Fish a couple of times, which is wild. As a huge Fish fan, knowing that I remember interviewing Mal, and he told me, yeah, one of the shows at when we were at Amherst College, I asked Paige if I could use his rig, and he said yes. I'm like, I'm not passing up an opportunity like that. So I was playing all sorts of crazy notes out of keyboards that I didn't own, and my bandmates were looking at me like, dude, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm mashing every key that I can. And he actually wrote Shoot the Cool, which is the theme song to Secondhand Talent, which is another nice tie-in. And the Dwarves continued on under Black's stewardship, and they continue to tour today. My uncle briefly was in a band called the Lonely Moans, who are the author of Shoot the Cool, and they are awesome. They rock. They just rock. I listen to his music all the time, and it's a great way to be able to include him. They actually, just before Ween did, to tie it back into Ween real quickly, so Ween had a record on the Sub Pop Singles Club, the Sky Cruiser record. My uncle had one on the Sub Pop Singles Club shortly before.
Wow.
SP46.
Nice.
So a little bit after Nirvana, a little bit before Ween. So right in that sandwich there. And I was, getting back to your original question, I was jealous that my brothers could play music well, and I loved music. We had an accordion in the house, and it was the thing that I made the most progress on, weirdly. And it didn't take. Nothing I did took. And well, I'm just going to adjust something on my screen that's recording. Basically, a big old thumb.
I will say I can relate to that as a failed guitar player. That was really my introduction to music, and
everything that I tried to play, it felt like my brain was broken along with all of my fingers and toes. Like I just couldn't figure it out. In the meantime, my brothers are just shredding, and I wanted to be a part of the live music scene so badly that I became a comedian because I saw the gap as spoken word. And it turned out I bet on that and bet on myself, honed my skills while I was living outside of Chicago and Tennessee and New York. And I'm just going to tap the screen real quick. By the time I got back to Chicago, I was a fully fledged functioning comedian, and I was ready to offer services like emceeing and hosting and all that other stuff, because what I wound up studying in college was communication. So I kind of became this utility man in the scene where I could, be on the stage, side of the stage, behind the stage. Like I was doing event production, stage management, emceeing, hosting, stand-up comedy. I mean, really everything in the scene, like merch sales, wherever I was needed, I went. And that versatility, I think, came from starting as a comedian, because the first thing you have to do is learn how to improvise.
Mm-hmm.
Because when a show's not going your way, you gotta. So for me, for example, when I learned I could reliably do that voice, taking it back just a second. When I learned I could reliably do that, anytime I was bombing on stage, literally anytime, I would just make it quiet for a sec and go, my name is Cleveland Brown, and I am proud to be right back in my hometown with my new family. There's old friends and new friends, and even a bear. Through good times and bad times, it's true love we share. Now I have found a place that I can call my home. My happy mustache face. This is the Cleveland Show. And all of a sudden, the audience is back with me.
So what's the hardest you've ever bombed then?
Oh, oh man. I just heard something say power off. Hold
Wow.
on. Hmm. Oh, that was the speaker. God damn it. That was I gave away the Hollywood magic. My microphone's been on my hat this whole time.
Well, I can still hear you.
All right, good. So what was I saying?
Something about I asked you what's the hardest you've ever bombed.
Oh, the worst fail. Yeah, it was literally beaten out of me. Um, when I was in 2011, I don't know if you know this, or if you have things like this out in Colorado, but Northeastern Illinois University has two sister schools where we students of Northeastern can go do a semester abroad and basically pay tuition to Northeastern, but be at the University of Limerick in Limerick, Ireland. Okay.
Yeah,
One
like
of
a
my buddies
study
went there.
abroad.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my buddies went. He was like, dude, you got to go. Go do your thing. Like, so my junior year, first semester, I went and I met an Irish singer-songwriter, Mark O'Connor. Mark, I've forgiven you. Um, he he set me up for the story I'm about to tell. So, oh, excuse me. At one point, I was touring. There was a pub I used to gig at regularly called the Hurlers Pub in Limerick. And I decided that I wanted to make a tour going through Cork and Galway. And I mean, Ireland is an incredible country. I loved my time there. It was really just an incredible experience through and through. However, I didn't really want to go to Dublin. I'm not like I don't swear obnoxiously. I don't poke fun at individuals or at people, but a joke's a joke. Sometimes a joke is just truth, whether you want to acknowledge it or not.
You didn't
And the
joke
job
about
of the
the
comedian
uh-huh.
is to know their audience and understand which jokes are good for now.
I guess what I was
And
wondering is, did the Irish potato famine joke bomb?
so it wasn't about that. It was worse than that.
Oh, it was worse
Actually,
than that.
it was it was bad enough that I'm not going to repeat it. It was literally beaten out of my. So getting back to it, I'll cut right to the chase. So Mark calls me up and he goes, "Oh, Steiner, hey Mark, no, you know what? Remember, you owe me a favor." Yep. I need you to call that in right about now. God damn it. Fine. What do you want? I saw you're going on a tour there. It's good crack. Yep. But you're not doing a show in Dublin, though. No. Why is that? You know exactly why. We've discussed this. It should be grand, if you came up and did would it wouldn't be a spot about it to come to. It's just not even right after. It's you have a whole day. Take the whole day. Go to Dublin. See a show. I'll pay for the ticket. Got to see Gilbert O'Sullivan at the O2. That was cool. Go to the show and pay for the ticket. The next day, I just need you to do a small stand-up bit. That's it. favor done. I was like, fine. So I added a 12th show to my tour, and I went up to Dublin, day between, went to go see Gilbert O'Sullivan at the O2, showed up at the venue, and walked into it felt like everybody in the venue turned to look at me when I walked in. Like there was just like this was in like 2011. This was like 15 years ago. So 15 and a half years ago. So I walked in and it was just like tourist, not from me. Like, and it's not even that, yes, I was a tourist, but I was also literally on tour. And so, of course, I had all of my stuff with me. I had merch. I had whatever, So I didn't even bother unpacking it at this show. I looked at the crowd and I was like, holy. And Mark sees me. I see Mark. We make eye contact. Then he runs up to me and goes, Steiner, oh, so glad you're here. It's grand. So glad you're here. And I've got three things to tell you. One, you're the only American comedian here. Two, you're going up first. Three, I'm leaving. And he just walked out the door. And now, when you're on tour as a comedian, when you don't really, yes, you can improvise, but you really kind of want to stick to the same set. You don't, this was before clips and shorts and all of that stuff. Like things viral wasn't a term that was really being used, especially in the aspect ratio that we're used to today. And it's not like people in Limerick would have called people in Dublin and be like, oh, you should watch out for this one. His joke's fucking terrible. Like, like that wasn't happening, and all 11 shows actually went great, by any metric. Like I had a great time. That's my second joke of the set. It did not get a good reaction. And I ended my set early and said, thank you. Have a good night. And picked up my backpack, unpacked, and walked out the door. And I didn't get half a block when two guys who were in the audience came out and beat the shit out of me. And they didn't even rob me. They gave me money for a bus ticket. And they're like, take your fucking American arse back to Limerick and get the fuck out of our city. And I'm like on the ground, bloody, like fair. Yeah, shouldn't have done that. That was probably the worst I've ever bombed. Yep, I would say that.
Only in Ireland you get given money after a beating. That's fucking funny.
Yeah, that's a unique experience. I've never gotten like reverse mugged.
Just get the fuck out of here. Like, goddamn.
Like growing up in Chicago, those things don't happen. Like when you get taken down, everything gets taken from you. Like nobody like gives you a $5 and it's like, buy your own fucking bus ticket back over there where you came from. Like that's just like the most unexpected reaction of all of it. Like beating me up is one thing. Giving me money to get home is that's like I knew I needed to get out of that city immediately. Like I was just like, oh, like if I stay here, this is dangerous. Like that's like they're helping me. Like I took it and I was like, you know what? Fair play, deserved. I get it. That being said, I do need to say this. My mentor, Knut Horowitz, for our older viewers, readers, and listeners, the guy from the State Farm commercial with the crazy red hair said, it's not rocket science, it's car insurance. That's him. He was my mentor in college. And the first thing he taught me is we don't use the stage as a weapon. Ever. It's not fair. We have a spotlight, a microphone, everyone's looking at us. To isolate one person in the crowd or to isolate a demographic or to isolate any group of people is unacceptable. It's just unacceptable. And that's where the basis of my comedy are some of the jokes that I tell probably pushing the edge a little bit. Yeah, but that's kind of what comedy is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not meant, what comedy is not, is a vehicle to hurt people. That is not what comedy is for. It's not a vehicle to push forward personal biases and implicit or explicit. It doesn't matter. Personal preferences even go out the window when I write my jokes. It has to be strong based on the strength of the writing. If you write a good joke, people will laugh. You don't need to be crude. You don't need, I mean, do I never curse? Fuck no. Of course I do sometimes. Sure, but like that, I would never consider myself a blue comedian.
You're not out there telling the aristocrats joke. That's not the one that got you beat, is it?
No. Sort of. That I did that once.
How'd that go?
I was 17. I think it was right around when the movie came out. And somebody bet me I had a set at the Kinetic Playground, RIP. And somebody bet me that I wouldn't do it. And I was like, fuck you. Like, I'll do it. I'll tell the joke. And, I got into the venue and got into the green room, sat by my, listening to music, and getting myself prepped, like trying to figure out what details, how many family members, what happens to all of them, what they do, what their interactions are, all of that. And I come up with this great version of the joke. I thought of a premise that I thought was so funny. And I don't want this video to get taken down, so I'm not going to tell it. Because it would get banned from any platform.
Thank you.
But I was like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I got my 5-minute set, whatever. I got my like I'm on the bill. I got my version, it's a 5-minute version of the Aristocrats. I get out on stage and I take the mic and I look out and my grandma's sitting in the front row. And I was like, you committed, buddy. You just told yourself you're gonna go up there and do it. Do it. And I did it. And my buddy Pete was there. Pete, if you're watching this, love you, bud. Love you too, Grandma. Sorry you had to endure that. Pete just slapped me, like open hand, just like from like across that, just like wow, right across. He goes, don't say that joke in front of your fucking grandma. I was like, yeah, Pete, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to hit me. But like,
that's hilarious.
Can't write that shit. I like, look, I was pot committed. I was going on the stage. I'm going to tell the joke. I'm not going to not tell the joke.
If you're a comedian, you commit to the bit. There's no other way around
it. She's seen the movie. She knows half the people who were in it. I don't need to sound like Seinfeld to tell anybody that, but like she knew the joke. Her reaction was like, go for it, motherfucker. Like, see what happens. It did not go well. Nobody. The 3 or 4 people who had seen the documentary were laughing, but that's it.
It's a joke for the comedians. It's not a joke.
It's a comedian's joke.
Well, it's just amazing all the stand-up stuff you've done.
You know,
It's brave. I mean, it's you can't fake it with stand up.
well, you can. You fake it till you make it. We all do.
That's
But
true.
also, like you said at the beginning, I'm a lapsed comedian. I gave it up. I left it behind. And for the last 3.5 years, I've been doing secondhand talent. And it's been, there are no words to describe. It has gotten me to the place to where we're having this conversation right now.
Yep. Yep.
It's been the vehicle driver for all of the major things that have happened in my life with regards to the scene over the last 3.5 years. Things I never could have predicted. And I owe a great debt of gratitude to my uncle for the use of the song. Shout out to Ducky for helping me start this up. Shout out to Steiner, my wife, for running all the social media stuff. Shout out to our producer Mario. Shout out to Justin Hampton for being just Ween fans. If you know posters, you know who Justin Hampton is. He's been on the show. We had him on in season 1 to go over the Kickstarter for Visual Feast. And in episode 99 at the end of season 5, we reviewed the book together.
What a journey.
It was beautiful. And it's because of Ween and music that happened. And I'm just so grateful for it. For the people who have been on the show and for the people who haven't. There's some folks that I've just had phone calls with that I don't know if they'll ever be on the show. But I'm just so grateful that they took the time to talk to me, to acknowledge, one example. I don't know if she'll see this, but to Harriet, yes, from Pappy and Harriet's, that call meant the world to me. And regardless of whether or not she comes on the show, I will treasure that call for the rest of my life. I mean, it's to talk to an icon, a legend like that, and be acknowledged for what you do is so meaningful and so fulfilling, that for all the great things that I experienced during stand-up comedy, it's a very different sense of fulfillment. No less whatsoever. Equally great, but very different.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to ask for a little bit of birthday wisdom here. Um, in those 3.5 years of secondhand talent, that's correct, 3.5 years, right?
Yeah, our first episode came out April 5th, 2023.
Wow, wow. So, congrats to that. You've described it as kind of platforming the village that it takes to make live
Yeah.
music work. Now, in all that time and all those people you've talked to, all these villagers that make this amazing scene happen, how do we keep the magic alive?
Gratitude. It's as simple as that. Gratitude. And if I would have to give one other piece of advice, it would just be being kind. You know,
Just like Johnny Williams.
everything that we have and that we're able to create is because of the endeavored souls that laid the foundation for us. And, you know, just to step back a little bit, secondhand talent, we shine the spotlight on the people who shine the spotlights. We interview the rest of the villagers in the village it takes to make live music. And another thing that I like to say is, we interview the folks that show up at 7:30 a.m. so that you have a great time when you come for doors at 7:30 p.m. And those are the unsung heroes of the industry. Those are the talent. They're secondhand talent in name only. Their talent is no less than the people who are on that stage. It's just often overlooked. and taking that moment out of your concert experience to say thanks to the front of house guy, to the light guy, to your bartender, to the security guy, to any staff you see walking around. Just say, hey, thank you, appreciate you for what you're doing. You have no idea what kind of day someone's having. I remember, I'll never forget this. About 6 months after the show started, I went to go see Fish at the United Center. And if you're not familiar, the United Center is big. It's where the Chicago Bulls and the Blackhawks play. Uh, it was sold out or close to it. And somebody saw me on the lot and was like, hey, are you the guy that does that show that like talks to people about me? And I was like, that was the first time I had ever been recognized in public for secondhand talent, like without knowing who the person was. I was like, goosebumps. And then walk in. I'm going through security. And I turned to the security guy who looked like he was not having fun. And I just said, hey, man, thank you. I appreciate you for keeping an eye on us. And he just leaned over the table. And anybody, if you've been to a big concert, you know what that table is, like between every metal detector, the table where you put all your stuff. He leaned over and just gave me the biggest hug. He almost pulled me off my feet. Oh. I had no idea what kind of day this person was having. And just that little bit of acknowledgement as thousands of people are flooding past him trying to get there in time for the first note. That completely changed his day. And I had no idea that it could or would. But it's not lost on me that the first time I was ever recognized for the show is also the first time that I saw practicing what I've been preaching have an instant reaction.
Just instant gratefulness. And, you know, it's that cycle of gratefulness. We really have to stamp out entitlement in the scene. You know, Ween doesn't owe us anything. You know,
that gets back to where. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, none of these bands owe us everything, anything. This is all.
I was going to, you know, listen, this going back to way to the beginning of the conversation, right? Nobody that works in this field owes us anything. Like the drudgery. Take Mark Janowitz, for example, someone I interviewed at the end of season 4. Mark Janowitz, if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, is the touring lighting director for My Morning Jacket and Trey Anastasio and Flight of the Conchords.
Oh, so, Flight of the Conchords, too.
Yeah, he's on permanent retainer with Flight of the Conchords. Like when they did the reunion at the Greek in LA, like I was like, hey, Mark, like, how's it going? He sent me back a picture of him, Brett, and Jermaine. I was like, okay, so it's going well. All right, cool. But like, you know, he brought me last October, 2025. He brought me to a My Morning Jacket show, and at Salt Shed. Ironically, you know, same. Never thought of that. Same venue, where the Ween song happened. 2.5 years later, but or 2 years later, really. And he gave me this whole tour of like the stage and the setup and ran some light tests. And I said, where am I going to sit for the show? And he just patted a stool right behind him. I was like, me? That? And he was like, yeah, I don't come up for the opener. Like, meet me here at like 8:30 and I'll just like bring you in and you can just hang out over here. I was like, so sure enough, 8:30, show up. He brings me in and I'm sitting behind him. And I don't know if he was putting some extra mustard on it because I was there or if he's just that good. I still love. And I'm losing the name of the album. From 2000, Evil Urges. Still one of my top 100 albums. But I haven't really paid much attention to My Morning Jacket since then. Holy cow, what a show. And he asked me afterwards, Steiner, what'd you think? And I said, you know what it reminded me of? It only shows that you've designed.
Oh.
So Trey's Traveler Tour, Ghosts of the Forest, Trey's solo acoustic. I've experienced this man's live show for 14 years before I met him. 13 years before I met him. He's been working with Trey as his light director since the Traveler Tour, and I had no idea. And your average Fish fan, and I know conflict, but knows who their light director is. The same way we know who Kirk is, right?
Yeah.
Like the average person would be like, he's not in the band. Who's that? Or who's Andrew? Or like who. But there's certain people in the stratosphere of the band that we as fans know intimately in a certain way, right? And in the Fish community, Chris Kuroda, their light director, I keep it right around here. Usually it's right there, a 5-pin with his lights on it. Because they call him CK5. He's the 5th member of the band. He's been with them since almost the beginning, and his work is second to none. And the live experience. And it's not just that he lights up Fish; he lights up plenty of acts. But what I've seen the man do in my life, I don't know how people even come up with the concepts that he does for his rigs. Like Mark was walking me through these lights, and he was telling me how they were fabricated, which was need to know information, because if you are just an attendee and you're looking at it, you think it's like an LED screen. No, it is a panel with a frosted cover that's conical on the surface that has 5 lights behind each panel, and there's 25 of those on each panel, and there's 5 of them across the stage. Like,
Wow.
and he like, where do you like? And he showed me. I'm not going to give it away, but he told me where the idea came from, and I was like, bro.
It's comparable to
And
the
I
Wall of
think,
Sound. It's just like a marvel.
but the point being, actually, like, just that I feel like Mark should be just as well known as Chris. And getting to the Wall of Sound, actually, which was part of the big inspiration for the show, and I'm really looking forward. Every year during Days Between, I try to have some Grateful Dead related guest. In season 3, we had Susanna Millman, the photographer of the Grateful Dead. Jerry walked her down the aisle. This year for Days Between, her husband, Dennis McNally, the Grateful Dead's publicist and historian, will be on the show. We had on Leo Elliott, who built the mission control base that O'Teal played at GD60 in season 5. I really love the Grateful Dead. As you could see by the tapestry behind me. And when it comes to the Wall of Sound, this right here was an experiment. This isn't something that was readily available at your local store. This is something created by Owsley and the boys, and they cooked up. And every time a part blew out, I'm sure they had to make Phil call California to tell them they needed a new part. And it became unsustainable. But it birthed companies like Alembic and Meyer Sound. And we're fortunate enough, we'll announce this here, I guess. The season finale of season 6 of Secondhand Talent is going to be with Bob McCarthy, the sound optimization master at Meyer Sound. This is the guy that developed the speakers to get the rockets off the ground for NASA. The fact that I just said that sentence to me 3 years ago would have been inconceivable. Think about how many people it took to set this thing up in the 70s, right? How many people are touring with the Grateful Dead just so they can set this up and tear it down every night?
They had a crew.
How many of them can we name?
I can't name any of them, but
I can name I mean, Big Steve Parrish. I mean, Wavy. I can name a few, but the point is that we can't, and it breaks my heart that all of these stories are now lost. And part of what secondhand talent is not only to highlight the guests and the spaces that they occupy, but to archive stories that no one else is asking for before they get lost. Because kind of getting back to the idea, like getting someone to make this hat for me and this shirt, and like just being a walking advertisement for my show. You said earlier, or you asked earlier, like what would help, and I get back to my answer: gratitude. You know, and I would say in the case of our favorite bands, empathy, because we can't. I mean, listen, the struggle of an addict is a personal one, and nobody is to say that X, Y, or Z is right for this person or that person that's not themselves. That's not how it works. And yes, of course, you tell me Ween's playing in Chicago tomorrow, I'll drop all the money I have on a ticket to go see them. But like I said earlier in the interview, I would much rather have a Diener to make music.
yes, absolutely.
And folks, if you're in the industry and you don't have a lot of means and you do want to seek out some resources, check out Backline. They offer free mental health resources, not just for people in the music industry, but for their families too. So it's really something worth checking out. We were very honored to have Tara, one of the community managers for Backline, on Secondhand Talent, and it's really important to me to highlight those organizations that are doing things like that. Mockingbird Foundation would be another one. That is a fan-run charity that donates to music education wherever Fish plays. I have friends in Chicago that have directly benefited from Mockingbird Foundation grants.
Wow.
And so that is a cause that I support always. It's my birthday. If you guys like donating for birthdays, like please consider giving to the Mockingbird Foundation.
We'll put a link
Because
in the description.
yeah, that would mean a lot. I mean, they do such amazing work giving out grants for music education to communities that can't afford instruments, don't have the means or resources necessary to obtain them. I mean, they do such amazing work all across the country. I mean, shout out to Ellis, shout out to the whole team over there at Mockingbird. They really are doing phenomenal work. And again, back into what Secondhand Talent's about. Music education is just one avenue for it, but one of the big goals of Secondhand Talent is that we pass down the love to the next generation. Why do we love what we do? Why do we go from place to place to see the same band over and over again? What drives the passion? And without telling these stories, without hearing these stories told passionately by the people who experience them, forget about being relatable. It doesn't exist. So Secondhand Talent has been the answer to that, I believe, in my own personal estimation. And 80% of our guests, I think, is a good easy number to say it's their first interview. Most of them ask me why, and my answer is usually because I think what you do is cool. like my buddy Mike Leighton, I think our second ever interview. He's a luthier. I didn't know what that meant. I thought it was someone who luths. Apparently it means a guitar maker, guitar builder. And I was actually genuinely curious if there was a term. Like the very first short we put up, we were researching this. And I was like, there's got to be like if a guitar maker is a luthier, what's a piano maker? Looking it up, piano maker.
You'd think they'd have a name for that.
You would think so. Like you have flautist, flute technician, right? Like what are we doing here?
So I would like to ask, while we're still on the topic, is there any other announcements or pertinent information you would like to get out there in regards to the Secondhand Talent podcast?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that. Thank you for reminding me. So production is underway not only for season 7 of Secondhand Talent. Season 6 currently is episodes rolling out every Wednesday until November 11th to our grand finale with Bob McCarthy. And we are currently in production for season 7. We are also, and this is going to be the first time this gets announced publicly, we are collaborating with Jackpot Pictures out of Stamford, Connecticut, producers of the wonderful film Moments of Youth, to create a version of the podcast that addresses the film industry, the secondhand talent behind movies. And I'm incredibly excited for this. I have always seen secondhand talent as kind of an umbrella. And it feels like we're adding a spoke to that umbrella. And Greg and the whole team at Jackpot are just dream partners to work with. I really can't believe this is happening, but we've already recorded half the season. It's really wild. It's going to be called Unseen Stories, Unseen spelled Unscene. And it's going to begin in December 2nd, the first Wednesday of December. So, yeah, you heard it here first. Unseen Stories coming out December 2nd on everywhere that podcast. Everywhere you listen to Secondhand Talent, you'll be able to hear Unseen Stories.
And Secondhand Talent season 6 is going to be airing every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, you can hear it on Apple, on Spotify. You can watch the video on YouTube and see me make a fool of myself. You can go stream the audio directly from our website at secondhandtalent.com. And if you'd like to be on the show, there's a little contact form in there and a Calendly link. Feel free to set up an appointment with me. Feel free to drop a message. Let's talk about it. Come be on the show. We really don't have any barriers. I just have 2 things that I ask every person. 1, do you live, love, or work in the live music industry? And the answer to that is yes. Then number 2, are you a terrible person? And if the answer to that is no, you're welcome to be on my show. So sincerely, to anybody who's watching this at whatever point in time, live or in the near or distant future, feel free to go to our website, secondhandtalent.com. There's a contact form there. We review every single contact submission. If you would like to see yourself on the show, hit me up.
Awesome. You'll have to get me on sometime.
Oh, I think that's a lock for season 7. I think we should discuss that immediately, but I thought that went without saying.
Awesome. Well, I've just got a few more questions for you before we wrap up. I know it is your birthday, and I'd love for you to get back to the celebration. One of the most iconic parts of the live music scene is the lot, especially at a show like a Fish Show. Do you have any crazy lot stories you'd like to share to the audience?
Yeah, I do actually. I wrote there's a video of me telling this story on YouTube. It was a hold on. Oh, insufficient storage for screen recording. Okay, that means that's done. Let me just take that off.
No worries. And we got this whole video up on YouTube, thankfully.
Yeah. No, so I got a great story for you. So I did actually turn this into a joke. So in 20 In 2025, when Fish played at the United Center, it's wild how like CPD does not give a fuck like about balloons. Like they just don't care. Like everywhere you go, it's psst, like 3 for 20, no deals, 3 for 20, no deals. Like that's it. That's all you can hear echoing as you leave the United Center. And my wife and I were sitting, just kind of gathering ourselves before we walked to the Uber point. And I heard one guy go 3 for 15. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, man, I'll even do 3 for 10. See, even in this economy, I don't understand how you're doing. Like the math ain't mathing, bud. What? Why are your balloons half the price of everybody else? Like that alone made me just be like, no, I was like, don't you want one? Yeah, not that bad. Sure enough, about 5 minutes later, we see this guy walking around picking up old balloons and blowing them up with his fucking stank ass hippie breath and fucking retying them and selling them to people. And I guarantee you, whatever was in his system got people higher than whatever was in the balloons.
Well, there's a new money making scheme. You'll see
It
me.
was one of the wildest things I've ever seen in my life. Somebody was just picking up balloons, blowing them up, and then selling them as balloons and getting more customers than anyone else.
Oh my god, that's a genius scheme. All right, catch me at Fish Dicks selling used balloons in the
Yeah,
lot.
right. Selling used balloons.
Well, I.
Only been used once, man.
But again, I'm sure he had enough in his system to share for
Yeah.
everybody. Well, tell you
What else
what.
you got?
One last question for you. A huge theme on the Trash Heap channel is community. The number one goal of our collective is building community. So that is my final question for you. How do we build community?
My mind instantly went back to the same word, to gratitude. And that's more gratitude for each other. Um, the rising tide lifts all ships, you know. When we help each other, when one of us succeeds, we all succeed. Coming up in stand up in the mid 2000s, it was really rough. You had to perform constantly to make sure that your jokes weren't getting ripped off. It was very dog eat dog. It wasn't like being in a band where you have multiple people and you could go to for decision making. You can't really confer with other comedians about your jokes because you don't want to give it away. And it was really tough, and there was a lot of pressure. And one of the things I'm seeing in the industry now that really irks me is this competition where it doesn't need to be. And, you know, it's okay to let more than one band or artist experience success at the same time. It's okay to root for more than one team. It's okay to have more than one favorite. It's okay to have, friends and not just one. Have gratitude for the people who are around you. Because, I like to tell people, you know, I call it the secondhand talent family because that's what it is. Once you're on the show, you have to sign a contract to get out of it. Right? You are a part of the secondhand talent family forever. Once you're on the show, once you're a guest, you are always welcome back on the show. And I always tell my guests, when you come on the show, this is just introducing you to our audience. And that means next time when you come on, we get to catch up about all the cool shit that's happened between then and now. And that's what community is about, is not just sustaining growth, but maintaining it and having people back on the show to promote new projects and to talk about what's been going on since then and be happy when other people experience success and don't be spiteful about it. Let, share in the joy. You enjoy yourself, right? But let other people enjoy themselves too.
Well,
Have some gratitude that we're all together.
it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm very grateful for you and your time, especially on your birthday of all days. I hope it was fun, getting to share some fun stories and the chance to impart some birthday wisdom.
I do have one last thing that I'd like to add first. I mean, of course, go follow Secondhand Talent on all channels. Thank you for having me on. This is the first time I've ever been on a podcast that's not my own, and I had no idea what to expect. And I think you did a phenomenal job. And like I said at the beginning of the show, when the episode actually happens, it's always better for it. And I think that was 1000% the case here today.
Absolutely. For those who don't know, we tried shooting this a couple of days ago, but long story short, I fucked up there.
But you
Well,
know what? It's not about how many times or how hard you get knocked down. It's all about how you get back up again.
uh huh, uh huh.
The only way out is through.
Shout out to Johnny Williams, Absolute Stallion.
Shout out to Ween.
Shout out to Ween. Hello Johnny mixtape volumes 1 and 2 are on the Trash Heap YouTube channel. They are on Bandcamp as well. All money goes towards Johnny Williams and his fight against cancer.
And you can find an interview of JoJo about the making of that album on the Secondhand Talent YouTube channel, along with all of the links to everything that he just said.
Awesome. And what was that foundation you mentioned that we're going to put the link to in the description?
Mockingbird Foundation. Yeah, Mockingbird Foundation. I mean, and Backline, I mean, if you feel like it. But I mean, the two of those, I think, those are two nonprofits that are doing phenomenal work in the music scene, and in Mockingbird's case, have been for decades.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, happy birthday, man. For Steiner's birthday, go drop some donations to those links. They're in the description. And you have yourself a wonderful birthday, Steiner.
Thank you, JoJo. Thank you for having me. Thank you to all of you who tuned in. Go check out Secondhand Talent. And this was a phenomenal way to kick off my year.